Hey gamers, what's up? Welcome to Gamer Life. Today I'm counting down my top 10 favorite deck builders. I enjoy a good deck builder, probably because of all my years of playing Magic. So, without further ado, let's start it up. My number 10 is a deck builder called Arctic Scavengers. Arctic Scavengers, from what I've told, is the first sequel after Dominion, because Dominion pretty much started the deck building craze. This one is slightly different because just like a regular deck builder, you're going to be buying your cards from a center row. You will have to save some cards to fight against the contested resources. And then this game also comes with some expansions, such as building on different buildings and different gang members, and a lot of different things that make this a very unique deck builder. So that's my number 10, Arctic Scavengers. Now my number 9, I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for, because it's called Tanto Cuore. Tanto Cuore is a very basic deck builder in a sense in which you have your cards in the center row and you're buying them like a normal deck builder. But the cards are of anime girls, and because you're a master of a house and you're trying to buy the best maids to fill your house, and all the girls are anime girls and maybe some questionable poses. Whatever, I don't care. I enjoy the game. There's a lot of things different in this game that sets Dominion apart. I've outgrown Dominion, and to me this is an excellent game. So that's my number 9, Tanto Cuore. My number 8 is another unique game called Quarriors. Quarriors is a dice building, deck building game. This led the way toward Marvel Dice Masters and all the different Dice Masters that has come since this. What this is you're buying dice, you're putting inside a bag, and you're drawing the dice out and you're rolling them to fight other players. And if your creatures make it back to your turn, you score them and you get points. So this has a lot of player interaction, heavy player interaction. Now a lot of people have a problem with the fact that you're not only are you drawing dice from a bag, but you're also rolling the dice. So it's two sets of random elements in the game, which some people don't like, but I don't mind. I enjoy it. So that's my number 8, Quarriors. My number 7 is a lesser known game called Shadow Rift. Now Shadow Rift is a deck building co-op game, and I like to meet some deck builders. This one here reminds me a lot of Arkham Horror, because what's happening is these evil forces, whether they be undead, demons, dragons, whatever, they're coming to attack the city, and you and your fellow players are trying to stop the forces of evil from getting into the city. And what they're doing is you have to either build up the wall or destroy them. And they're constantly doing different things. You have an outsider deck, so you have people that are coming in to help you, as well as spies that are trying to screw you up along the way. It's a very interesting and good deck builder, very, very underrated, and it's kind of hard to find, but it's a very good game. My number 7, Shadow Rift. My number 6 is another very unique game called Puzzle Strike. Puzzle Strike is based off another game called Puzzle Fighter. What you're doing is you're sending these crash gems into your opponent, and the first player, and you have a play area in which you will be putting the crash gems in. If any player at the end of the turn has 10 crash gems, they lose. This game plays best with heads up, but I enjoy the 3 and 4 player modes also. This right here is the expansion, the Shadows. The pink box is the other one. That's the 3rd edition. Both integrate well. They're very fun to play. You have 20 different characters that you use in your chips, because instead of regular playing cards, in this one here you have poker chips, and you draw these poker chips out of the bag, and you're playing them. And then, like I said, you're sending those poker chips, crash gems, into your opponent, and they have to deal with them. So that you can block them, and sometimes they can block them and send more at you, so then you have to block them. It's a very dynamic and interesting game. That's why I like it. That's my number 6, Puzzle Strike. My number 5 game is Thunderstone. Thunderstone is unique in the sense that you are adventurers trying to go into the dungeon and try and kill the end boss. In Thunderstone, you can get different characters and level them up and send them inside the dungeon with different weapons, and try to fight them and try to fight off the enemies. they can also level up throughout the game. You can give them different equipment. They have all different types of characters: dwarves, elves, magicians, warriors, berserkers, all different stuff. And currently, I like the newest base set, which is the Numenera, because it has a lot of different things. Because you can collect the Thunderstones and sell them off to gain various effects, because they're all different colored ones. And so that's my number 5, Thunderstone. My number 4 is another game that's very unique, and that's Trains. Trains is a deck builder, but it uses this main game board so you have to create a route throughout the different cities in Tokyo or Kaito or whatever. There are a bunch of maps you can buy also. You're trying to lay these trains to create a network, but you're also building waste inside your deck also, just like in some other deck builders where you have wounds. And then in this one you have waste, and you try to manage the waste. So at the same time, you're also trying to connect to as many cities as possible so you can get your points. And you also can buy cards that also give you a bunch of points too, but they clog up your deck, and they make it harder for you to progress, but at the same time you want to get more so you can get more points. It's a very unique, very different game than most deck builders, because you're trying to get your deck to have all the crazy combos, but at the same time you're trying to connect throughout the cities on the game board to get some points also. So that's my number 4, Trains. Now my number 3, I don't have the original box for, but I still enjoy it. It is my number 3, Star Realms. Now I have done a review for Star Realms before, and so I'm just going to recap. It is a very good game. You can play 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 depending on how many base sets you buy. It's very straightforward. You have your center row of 5 cards that you buy, just like Ascension, and you are trying to whittle down your opponent or opponents from 50 life points to 0. There are 4 factions in this game. The game is very quick, very fast. At one point it has gotten a little stale for me, but they have introduced a bunch of different expansions, as well as a Gambit set that creates a single player experience as well as a co-op experience. So that's why it's one of my favorite deck builders. Number 3, Star Realms. Number 2, I've also done a review for. That's Marvel Legendary. Marvel Legendary incorporates the 3 things I really like: deck building, co-op, and the Marvel Universe. There is so much stuff out there for Marvel Legendary. Bunch of different characters, bunch of stuff constantly coming out for it. Excellent artwork. The base set they use the same artwork for every card, but in the following expansions they have used different artwork. So it's a very good game. I like the deck, all the different stuff you can make, the different combos you can have, because all the different characters, you can create whatever you want. You wanted to do all Avengers, you can do all the Avengers. You want to do all the X-Men, you can do all the X-Men. You can recreate almost any of the current storyline plots, and you can fight against whatever villain you want. So it's a very thematic, it's very good. I really enjoy it. That's my number 2, Legendary. Now my number 1 doesn't feel so much as a deck builder as it is an empire builder, and that is Core Worlds. Core Worlds is an excellent deck builder. The only real problem with it is it does take a little long. It's close to 2 hours, but at the end of the game you have felt like you have built your own galactic empire, because you have your own unique starting planet. You have your own unique hero inside your deck, and with the big expansion, which I strongly recommend you pick up if you get Core Worlds, get the first expansion. I believe it's called Galactic Orders. That adds a bunch of new stuff, makes each faction more unique, and it adds some other slightly more mechanics. It does make the game longer. I also recommend you do the starting draft, not the preset draft. But like I said, at the end of the day, it feels so epic, just like an epic conquest game or empire building, which you're building your own empire, buying the cards. The game only lasts 8 rounds, but it's going to take some time to get through those 8 rounds, because you're constantly taking them, trying to conquer worlds through ground force or air force. Excellent game. I love the artwork. I love the sci-fi theme to it. That's why it's my number 1 deck builder, Coral Rose. So that wraps up my top 10 deck builders. Thanks for watching, and remember, I believe there's a game for everyone.